Good morning. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another edition of the Morning Breeze, man. Always rocking with you guys, as always, man. Outside of me, I got my guy, Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, in the building. Breeze Nation, we are back and better than ever. Good morning, Chicago. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love to another edition of the Morning Breeze.
Yep.
On today's episode, we got a lot to get into, me and Jordan JC. Mr. Media himself in the building. We got to break down our three key players to a Chicago Bears victory versus the Carolina Panthers. Also, got to talk about how does this Chicago Bears team match up offensively and defensively versus this new look Carolina Panthers with no with no Bryce Young, they new look. They're winning-ish. Kinda.
Yeah, a little shaky.
I don't make the rules on this. We'll be breaking all that down on today's episode of the Morning Breeze. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love to another edition of the show, man. Always glad to be here with you. I didn't have another topic for this. I thought this would go take a lot more time. Give it a second. And the date is 10/2/2024. It's 6:33 in the morning.
Oh, baby.
And apparently Mr. Meaty may not have pants on.
Oh.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
That's my tribute to Matumbo.
No. We're not doing that. We're not doing a Matumbo tribute with no pants on, dog. We're not doing a Matumbo tribute pantsless, dog.
What's going on, man?
This morning that literally just said, if you don't got topics, I got some meaty ones for you. I was like, what's happening here? I said, I don't like this.
Top of the morning, baby.
Oh, top of the morning. Good morning, world. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love. As always, hit that like button. Subscribe to the page, man. Leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Go ahead and
come on. Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push the button.
You heard what she said.
Y'all heard what Sue Young said. Push the goddamn button, man. Hit that like button. So hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. For some of you guys always pop in and say, yo, I got here late. Hit the notification bell, man. It will notify you every single time we go live. Chirac fan 24 said, just tuned in. He may not have pants on. Hey, you never know, dog.
Hey.
This dude's a loose cannon.
Hey, man. Whoa.
This guy, hey, I don't like that. I don't like that.
Early
deli talk.
I like that. Let's go.
Oh, nothing like a little early deli talk. What's good, my guy? How you feeling this morning?
Oh, I'm feeling very good, man. I'm feeling very good. I should have put my glasses on because I feel like I'm predicting another Bears victory this early, against what did you call them? The La Panteras?
The La Panteras.
I think we will be defeating La Panteras very easily this weekend.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, this is one where the Chicago Bears should absolutely get it. I do feel confident going into this week, and the reason I feel confident is usually about half of week 2 going into week 3, you figure out who the heck Andy Dalton is. Right, you all of a sudden everybody remembers. Oh yeah, it's Andy Dalton. We know how to beat this guy. You know what I mean? Plus, if I'm not mistaken, Jaylen Johnson was there with Dalton. Is he the only one left
from that team? That version?
Yeah, he is. Ain't he? He's the only one left from because that would have been with Mitch. No, with Justin.
No, I was with Justin.
I was with Justin. So yeah, I think he's the only one left on that team. So so your number one best DB already knows how to match up against this guy. So we'll talk about that when we get into our key players. But no, man, appreciate the chat pulling up as well. Bears Junkie in the building with a I'm up, bear down. Well, that could mean a lot on this show. Rodney Walker in the building. Good morning, Rodney. A little aggressive this morning, my guy.
Woke up on
Surprise,
the wrong side of the bed.
KD in here. Let's get this money, man. If you're not up getting paper, dog, what are you doing up?
What are you doing?
I'm
get
not
up. Let's get that bag.
Get up. Jay Grizz with a year. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, showing love, man. Let's jump into the show because we're gonna break down our key players that we feel will lead to a Chicago Bears victory over the Carolina Panthers. Is Carolina Spanish already? Carolina Panthers. Yeah,
Panthers.
For our Hispanic community out there. Shout out to y'all as well.
That's right.
Strong Hispanic community in Breeze Nation, actually.
You doggone right. Come on now.
A lot of Hispanic Bears fans. I love it. And Bulls fans, of course. Y'all already know. A lot of Brazilians in the Bulls fan base. And so, listen, if I come down there to talk Bulls.
Oh. Show them a good time.
You already know. I don't got to say it. You already know. Who's this lady? I don't know. Let's start it off with you, Jordan JC. Who is your first key player?
Where's my keys?
Where's your keys? Who's your first key player that you're going to be watching closely in this game that you believe leads to a Chicago Bears victory?
Oh, Pat, I got a good one for you. The first key to a Bears victory, first key player to his Bears victory over the La Panteras is going to be.
Are we doing that all day?
DeAndre Swift.
Okay. All right.
Okay. DeAndre Swift is my first key to a Bears victory. The reason why I say that, and really I should group him and Roshan Johnson together, is because the Carolina Panthers just absolutely suck on run defense. They're, I think, about 29th in the league at this point in covering, trying to stop the run. And then they already lost their star defensive tackle in Derek Brown for the season a minute ago. They're without a few players that I'm going to mention later on. But this team, they can't stop anybody. I mean, they're giving up the most points per game in the league. So I foresee if we're going to continue to build off of, like I mentioned, building off of that success from the run game and finally getting things right where you have, not being a one-dimensional team, you're relying on the run that leads to the play action, that leads to the passes. I'm looking for DeAndre Swift to kind of have the same type of game that he had last week, where he led the team in receptions, 7 for 72. And also had a very good game, running the ball. That's what I want to see. I want to see him build off of his performance.
No, 100%. I think DeAndre Swift is he's going to be a candidate on just about everybody's list of 3 players. By the way, let us know your 3 players in the chat as well. We'll chime in with you guys. 3 players you're watching closest in this game as well. I think he's going to be on a lot of people's list because you saw what happened when he was able to get going. You know what I mean? You really saw the impact that he was able to have once he was able to get going. I was watching the All-22 yesterday. Wow, man, I'm not gonna lie. Me playing college football 25, I have fallen off a cliff. I am in a slump. I am horrible right now. So after that,
who do you got? I got Northwestern.
I go to Northwestern. I'm doing bad.
Come on, man. What's going on with your recruiting?
The recruiting is fine. I'm actually getting some 4-star recruits fairly consistently with a gym on there, which means they're probably more 5-star than 4-star. Recruiting has been fine, I'm still getting commits, but just like playing some of these games, though, I mean, I'm reading it back. It's on me. Okay. It's on me. I gotta lock in, dog. I'm my Ryan Fitzpatrick right now.
Oh boy, no.
Yeah, it's bad. It's been bad. But no, man, I think here's the thing, though. When you look at DeAndre Swift and you see how he was, I said all that to say I was watching the All-22 after because I was like, well, I clearly need to watch tape. I clearly need to watch some football and learn how to play. Yeah. But you watch the impact that he had on multiple drives in a row, the impact he had on the passing game, the impact he had running the football. You saw how, just the energy that he brought to that offense. And then all of a sudden you see all these play action passes working versus the Rams, things that weren't working in the first half. Those are things that you can hang your hat on, that you can feel good about as a Bears fan heading into this next week with with the Panthers on the docket because, like you said, it feels like you figured something out, and DeAndre Swift is a major part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm big on DeAndre Swift. Another thing I actually failed to mention is that the reason why I think that he's going to be a breakout candidate for this week as well is because you saw the game that the Panthers played against the Bengals previously. Chase Brown, which by the way, for fantasy purposes,
For
I got him on my
fantasy
team. For
purposes.
fantasy purposes, he gave me a lot of points, and I still lost. But individually, he was very good. He had 80 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, this is what you want to see. That's the type of performance that you want to see from Swift or Roshan, whoever has the hot hand. Hey, keep going back and forth. Just continue to run all over these guys.
No, yeah, and listen, that's why my number 3 is Roshan Johnson. I'll go opposite of you on that. My third key player is Roshan Johnson to start things off because I guess my first key player, third on the list, but first key player,
Right.
because I think that so much that got DeAndre going was the fact that you were getting that mix of those two running backs. And I really want to see more utilization of that, maybe even more of an even utilization, nothing crazy where it's got to be like exact numbers, but just getting Roshan more involved. I thought the more you got Roshan involved in the passing game, in the run game, it caught the Rams off guard a little bit with, oh, we just got punched in the mouth. Oh, wait, he's going past us right now. You were able to kind of do that everybody always talks about, that lightning and thunder. You kind of saw a little bit of lightning and thunder in that last game versus the Rams. And I think if you get Roshan going this week, of course, in the short yardage situations, of course, in the goal line situations, I think that those are going to be the moments where you most look to Roshan Johnson, where it just builds it's those moments of building confidence for your team and building confidence for this run game. And the reason I say that too is because, right, keeping a drive going in a tough moment is going to demoralize the defense that you're going up against. It's going to demoralize how, the other team is playing as well. Roshan Johnson on that 4th and 1, what would have put it over the top? He gets the 4th and 1, and then he gets into the end zone. You didn't end up getting into the end zone on that one, but like those are the moments that I think the Bears have to take advantage of. And those are the moments I think that open up DeAndre Swift. Because now if you have a little 21 personnel with both running backs out there, which they did run some of that as well. You've got Roshan who can be a lead blocker. You've got Roshan who could be somebody getting the ball off of that play. You got Roshan who could be somebody that's catching the ball in the open field. Like, I think he just brings enough of that consistent game that, to me, he's somebody who can be the backbreaker for the Panthers, where DeAndre Swift can be the guy that's the focal point.
Absolutely. No, 100%, 1,000%. And by the way, shout out to JC Franklin.
JC Franklin, good morning. I'm very impressed with Javon this year. No, Javon Dexter has been an absolute dog this year. I mean, it can't even be shout out. I appreciate you for the super chat. It can't even be understated. I mean, it feels like you've got your 3 technique of the future.
Oh, absolutely. And that actually is, and I appreciate you, JC, because hey, you're a man after my own heart. We think the same. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate you. Pat, go ahead and play that music for me and JC for a minute.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no. Come on now. There you go. Come on. Shout out to JC. No, so he actually mentioned my second key. Second key is going to be Javon Dexter, senior, for me.
Yeah.
Continue to build off of your epic season that you're already having. 3 sacks early and often, a lot of pressures, a lot of quarterback hits. I mean, this is the defensive tackle that you needed. This is the 3 technique, the pressure that you needed from the interior on this line to make this line even more special alongside Montez Sweat and the other guys. And so I need to see Javon Dexter eat. I feel like this is a game where he could get even multiple sacks, multiple pressures. Like this is probably a Javon Dexter game, a coming out game for Javon Dexter. I don't see a reason why he can't eat as much this coming up week. And so I'm looking for the big guy to just put his stamp on this game.
Yeah, he's going to be somebody who, I mean, listen, when you look at Dex, first off, I told y'all that this guy was the answer. This guy is a monster every single week in practice, every single day he goes out there. I mean, he's dominating on a consistent basis. He's a I don't have the dog sound, but he's a dog out there. And through 3 weeks, I mean, you're talking about a guy who, or through 4 weeks, I should say, you're talking about a guy who has 3 sacks, who has, I think already over 11 quarterback hurries. I mean, like He's doing the job that you need done in that middle, and he's opening things up for this defense on the other side. Dare I say, this is where I think this defense kind of gets itself going early on. This is the matchup that you're going to want to see because Javon Dexter, just him pushing the pocket, it's opening things up for Andrew Billings that I never thought we'd see happen. It's opening things up for other guys like Darrell Taylor on that outside. I think we see a Darrell Taylor bounce back game, maybe a little bit in this one. Not to say he hasn't been involved in the game plan, but the sack numbers haven't been there.
He almost got
game.
your boy before that interception.
Yeah, he definitely almost got one. And then I think it makes Montez that much more dangerous when you've got that guy who just, I mean, that's got to be terrifying just seeing that big the arms up, jumping full height. It's just like, what the heck is that? How do I throw over that? You know what I mean? Like, I'm scared. Please save the children. But no, man. I think Javon Dexter is a great key player to watch for. He's somebody I mention almost every week, but not this week. By the way, I appreciate y'all tuning in. If you haven't done so, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. I've got a key player who is on the defensive side, but who I think is going to make a little bit more impact on the outside than on the inside.
Okay.
Whoa, just in case. Just in
I almost
case.
didn't catch it.
We'll talk about that one right after we take a break and hear a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back right after this. Happening Bears Nation, it's your boy Pat, the designer from the Windy City Breeze, where we keep it 100 about everything Chicago Bears. Now, if you're like me, you don't just watch the game, you live it, and that's why you need to check out BetDSI. BetDSI is where it's at if you want to put your money where your mouth is. They've been doing it for over 20 years, giving you the best odds, lightning fast payouts, and a platform that's as solid as the best O-line. Whether you're betting on the Bears to take it all the way or making clutch live bets during the game, BetDSI has you covered. And here is the kicker. Just because you're rolling with the Windy City Breeze, BetDSI is hooking you up. Sign up today with the promo code WCB, and they'll give you a 120% bonus on your first deposit up to $1,000. That's free money, folks, to make sure that you're winning as you back our boys in the blue and orange. So what are you doing? What are you waiting for? Head over to betdsi.eu, use the code WCB, and start turning your Bears passion into serious cash. BetDSI, where real Bears fans get it done. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching the show. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Aura. Have you ever done a Google search on your own name? You'd be surprised what pops up. Your full name, email address, home address, health records, your relatives. It's all out there. And that's why I've been using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out requests just for me. Cleaning up my information not only helps reduce the amount of spam I get, but it protects me from hackers who could use that information to help them access my social media, bank accounts, and other sensitive information. It's really simple to set up. I don't have to download several apps or go to things like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft, but you can get all of that in one place with Aura. I get everything at one affordable price as well. You may already have one or two of these tools, but not having Aura is like leaving the front door locked while leaving the back door and windows wide open. For you to be able to take advantage of Aura, we got a special deal for you here today. Stop data brokers from exposing your personal information. Go to my sponsor at https://aura.com/the Windy City. Again, that is aura.com/the Windy City to get a 14-day free trial and see how much of your information is being sold. Oh, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to another edition of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily, man. Make sure that y'all hitting that like button, subscribe to the page, man. Staying tapped in with us. We're talking about our 3 key players to watch closest for a Bears victory versus the Carolina Panthers. And I'm on player number 2. And I teased it a little bit before the break. Player number 2 for me, somebody who is going to be impactful on the defensive end, but who you got to look at more on the outside than on the inside. Ayo, it is what it is.
Oh boy!
And my key player number 2 is Jaylen Johnson.
All right.
Reason for that is there's one dude. Yeah, I mean, there's one dude on the outside that we're worried about. There's one player that really I'm like, all right, he might be able to get us a little bit. I mean, I'm more worried about Deontay Johnson than anybody. Xavier Legette is showing me something. I think that he's got some talent. I think that he's a nice little player. But Deontay Johnson is really the guy that stands out. By the way, he does not do well against Jaylen Johnson. But
a lot of people don't.
I think that that's really the matchup that you're looking closest at. And of course, right, I always say make it a matchup between you and the quarterback, not you and just the receiver, right? But you got to be in front of the receiver to do that. I know that Jaylen Johnson can stay with Deontay Johnson. We got a Johnson and Johnson matchup here. And I think that this is one that favors the Chicago Bears. And listen, Andy Dalton is going to put the ball in the air. He's gonna, I mean, what was it? 40 pass attempts, I think, last week. I think that the Bears will be up in this game, although that sounds crazy to say, but I think the Bears will be up in this game. And so Andy Dalton will be passing the football as well. It's not to say that Andy Dalton won't be able to move the football at all, but I just think that, the best thing for this Bears team right now is the fact that you've got Andy Dalton in week 3 of this thing and not in week 1 of this thing. You can see the tendencies. You can remind that Jaylen Johnson what it was like playing against Andy Dalton. And I think that if you take Deontay Johnson out of this game, this Panthers team has zero chance at going out there and winning, especially with some of the deficiencies that they have on the defensive end as well.
I'm right there with you. I actually looked up a stat of the Deontay Johnson over the last couple of games, and I'm kind of mad because, again, if we're talking fantasy purposes, he definitely showed up and showed out. But I traded him a long time ago for some better pieces, so kind of hurt me on that end. But the last 2 games with Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle at the helm, Deontay Johnson has had some pretty nice stats: 15 receptions, 27 targets, 205 yards, and a couple touchdowns.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive numbers. And I say all that to say he won't be getting any of that this game because
I just think he's in a bad matchup for him. This is one where, again, like I said, Jaylen Johnson knows the tendencies of Andy Dalton. He's going to be watching the film to see, kind of what Andy Dalton may have added, may not have added.
Yep.
I understand how good Deontay Johnson can be. Of course, with his time with the Panthers with the Steelers. I think he's got at least 1,000-yard season one time over there. He was a touchdown threat early on in his career over there. I mean, he's been a 8 touchdown guy. You know what I mean? But I don't see this being a matchup that Jaylen Johnson comes out on the losing end of.
No, of course not. I mean, Jaylen Johnson has a lot of top receivers numbers, and when you usually pass to that side of the field, whichever side he's on, whoever he's sticking, it's not really a big statistical day. You're probably going to be looking for that matchup between Tariq Stevenson and who's the other guy that you mentioned? Xavier Legette. Yeah. And, I mean, you're relying on a rookie to get you to a win. I'm not really seeing that
big rookie though.
Yeah, I do like a little Chuba Hubbard though. I will say though, I think he's going to be a part of the game plan as well. Chuba Hubbard's decent. I got him on my fantasy as well. But I mean, all in all, I don't think this
is that how you. Why do you have so many Panthers players on your fantasy?
I don't. You know what? That's a good question. I don't know why. I definitely didn't have a lot of confidence in Bryce Young, but for whatever reason, I got Deontay. I got Chuba. I don't know what's going on.
He was coming into the season with a winner off of that, dog. That's insane. Big dude though, Xavier Legette. So that'll be a tough matchup for Tyree Stevenson. I mean, what is he, 6'3", 220?
Legette is a big dude.
Legette gonna be a little bit more of a problem.
Oh yeah. But I think they're up to the task. So my last and final and most important key.
I got the keys.
Key player to a Bears victory over de la Panteras is, I mean, isn't it obvious? I think every week we're going to say Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams has to continue his trajectory up. He has to continue to show us how special he is. And from what I'm seeing, he's continuing to learn the game little by little. He's continuing to put the NFL speed all together. Like everything is coming together for Caleb Williams week after week after week. And I need to see it come all together, especially in this game, because the Panthers are dead last in giving up the most points, as I mentioned. They're also dead last in giving up the most touchdowns per game. I believe it's close to 4. It's like 3.8. This is the game where I think we will score the most points up to this point in the season. I foresee that this could be the offensive outbreak game where we're going to get over at least 30 points without the help of a defensive touchdown. And so I'm looking for Caleb to, you know, connect with DJ a little bit more. You saw that pass that by all accounts was really special going into the end zone, that looking off the defense and then throwing it to DJ versus a linebacker. I think that those are some of the matchups that you're going to have to take advantage of with DJ, with Keenan Allen obviously back healthy. Rome Odunze, I feel like, is going to get a few more touches this game. He was kind of quiet in the last game. So all in all, I'm looking for Caleb to pass the ball around to his superstars and to get them more involved in this game.
Nah, man, listen, I think that Caleb is you always have to have Caleb somewhere on one of our 2 lists. I figured you was gonna throw him on there, so I didn't have him on my list. And Caleb's always an easy pivot. You know what I mean? Oh, he didn't pick Caleb, I'll pick Caleb, right? It's an easy pivot. It's not difficult to do, but you saw last week, 17 for 23, 157 yards, 6.8 yards average. 1 touchdown and a 106.6 quarterback rating. That's what you want to see out of this young man, except in both halves. Can we figure it out for both halves?
True.
I think that this is the week that we will be able to do that. Dare I say Caleb Williams heading towards another 300-yard passing game because that he'll be able to get it in both.
All right.
He'll be able to get going.
All right. Yeah, you cleaned it up real nice. Cleaned it up.
Hey.
Sorry, man.
That was nerve-wracking right there. That one,
it's
almost walked into one right there. And I think that this is to me the game that I feel like, I don't know if I could say a coming out party, right? Because it's a game where, like, if you lose, you feel horrible. If you win, you're like, good job, you did your job.
Yeah, I mean, it is the Panthers. You can't
know what I mean?
You can't gloat.
And I get it. Like, people, and we'll probably say it at some point, be like, oh, the Panthers were playing better. But, like, I know, like, this is Andy Dalton, 3rd week in the lineup. I know the defense is going to have him figured out. I know he's going to get sacked. How many times did Andy Dalton get sacked last week, man? Because what did Andy Dalton get? Andy Dalton got sacked.
By the Bengals?
By the Bengals. By the Bengals. How many sacks? And by the way, the Bengals are a horrible. No sacks last week. That will not happen this week. I guarantee that. The Panthers also didn't sack anybody last week. I guarantee we will sack somebody on this team this week. Yeah, I mean, Andy Dalton is not going to have a good day. So I think that, bringing all that back around to Caleb Williams, I think that this is more of a this is going to be a game that's set up for Caleb to succeed, where he's going to be able to pin his ears back and be able to get downfield. Where he's going to be able to, and dare I say, let's go into my key player here. I think my final key player that I'm going to be watching closely here, Rome Odunze. I think this is the breakout game for Rome, where it feels like a breakout game because we actually win it. You know what I mean? Like, I guess the breakout game was the 112-yard day. Yeah, I mean, but like, really, we're like, but we lost to the
6 for 112.
You know what I mean? Yeah. We lost to a team that is still winning, by the way. Surprisingly, the Colts got a little something going on here. It's probably
what's going on in there.
Shout out King Booker World, said, until proven otherwise, my 3 is the O-line. I agree. You can never go wrong with just predicting the O-line on any of these. But I think here's my big thing about why I feel Rome Odunze has this moment. I think that there's going to be such a concerted focus on the fact that Keenan Allen is dealing with some injury. I think they're also going to put all their efforts into stopping DJ Moore, which I don't think is going to work either. I think DJ also has a good game. I think this the DJ and Rome connection here. We come out of this with kind of that which game was that? Was that the Colts game as well, where everybody came out having a solid game, but we end up losing the game? I think it's one of those games, you know what I mean, where you look at it and you go, everybody kind of played well, but like it didn't work out. Some bad decisions made here and there cost you the game. Except they don't cost you the game here. Dare I say, there are going to be some good decisions. We're going to get a confident Bears win, and Bears fans can beat their chest a little bit heading into this next week.
Oh, baby. Yeah, I like the sound of that. I think this is the game where we're going to continue to see more of an identity presented from the Bears as far as, having a balance on the offense. That's what we really want to see. I do want to see Komet kind of, and I've seen people mention it. King Booker World also mentioned it. Is going to have another big game. That's another part of the defense that is pretty poor when it comes to the Carolina Panthers is their red zone percentage and stopping touchdowns in the red zone. I need to see Cole Kmet you get utilized a little bit more than he did last week. Had a nice throw over the middle of the field to Cole, but he didn't have as many receptions as he did the week before versus the Colts when he had 10. So I want to see him get back implemented into the offense more, which means, hey, if Caleb's got to go from 30 to 40 more passes, I'm down for that. This is the game where I don't have a problem with Caleb throwing a whole bunch of passes because I feel like he's going to connect with all of his star talents early and often. And like you mentioned, I think one of the things that they need to work on is getting out the gate quicker. This team, for whatever reason, seems to be really, really good in the second half, obviously on defense, but they seem to click a little bit more on offense. We need to see them have a complete game from start to finish on both sides of the ball.
No, 100%. 100%. Let's shout out to Bears Jugger with the Super Chat. He said the way Andy Dalton plays with his dink and dunk offense, I think Kyler Gordon will have a good game. That's a good name as well. That's a good name as well. You can't go wrong with that.
Oh yeah.
Listen, Kyler Gordon is somebody who I think can absolutely make an impact in this game, and you're kind of waiting to see him get that. Has he had an interception on the season? I don't think he's got one yet.
No, that the one that we claimed he had, it was a 50-50
Oh yeah,
ball.
The pick six. That was a pick six. That was absolutely a pick six. By the way, I don't know how we made it this far on the show.
What do we got?
Doing this, but we got over 100 in the chat. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love, man. If you haven't done so, hit that like button, subscribe to the page. No, I think there's a lot of good names that you could throw out there in this matchup because this is a matchup the Bears should win.
Yeah.
And let's dive into the matchup a little bit more, man. Let's talk about, how we feel this team matches up. We'll go on the offensive side, go on the defensive side, and just for you fanatics out there, I will even go on the special team side.
You doggone right.
But offensively, when you look at this Bears team, I think that the line is still going to be an issue. And yes, versus a Panthers team that I don't know if they could get pressure on a little league school.
Yeah.
But they're going to get pressure on us. Right? Because I don't see any answers. I gave you guys the stats yesterday on the offensive line. If you weren't in here, let me see if I can pull those back up again.
The PFF numbers.
The PFF numbers
to
show you just how bad.
Oh God.
This team was. Your bottom. I'll just give you the bottom three in offense.
Please, Bears. Please, Bears.
I won't go through the full list again. I'll give you the bottom three. Tevin Jenkins was your worst at 42.9. He's coming off a rib injury. Hopefully, we'll get an update from Matt Eberflus today on how he's feeling today. Rome Odunze was a 49.6. Coleman Shelton was a 50.0. And Nate Davis was a 50.0, although I mentioned yesterday, a little bit skewed, much worse in the run game than he was in the pass game. In the pass game, he actually was solid, but still a 50 is not a good day. Those are three guys that block for your quarterback.
That's horrible.
Have fun. The offensive line is not going to get better. So I do think that is going to be something that Caleb Williams will have to navigate. But I also think that this is a team that you can navigate it much better against. We haven't heard about any setbacks for Keenan Allen. Again, that'll be something to watch for today as we get our first injury report and stuff like that. to see how Keenan is feeling, because remember, Keenan was limited all last week, but he never DNP'd. If we have a DNP due to rest, that would be a step back in the wrong direction. That would be something that would be a little bit concerning to me. I just think that, this is a matchup offensively that the Bears should be able to take advantage of. We mentioned the run game and the dominance that they can do there, but I think that this is one, like we said, where Caleb Williams should be able to break out in offensively, because there's just not much that the Panthers can throw at you defensively that scares me.
I mean, at this point, we already know that we kind of have to put a Band-Aid over the fact that offensive line is not going to be any of the keys to a victory most times during this season. Like, we
Yeah.
know what the offensive line is. They're just being put together right now. It is what it is. We have to work kind of around that issue. But the good thing is we keep playing teams that apparently have a lot of key players that are injured. Every week we have we play teams that are missing their star receivers and missing a
Yeah.
star defensive end or defensive tackle. And like I mentioned, for this coming week, they already were lost for the season with Derek Brown, their defensive tackle. Then you got Shaq Thompson, who has been confirmed to having a season-ending Achilles tear. Then also Josie Jewell this last weekend, linebacker for them, the inside linebacker. It mentions that he'll be out with injuring his hamstring and groin for the next couple of weeks. And so you got those names that are pretty big names for their defense that
Yeah.
are going to be out. So you can still take advantage of them. And that's where I think maybe the offensive line gets a little bit less pressure, is you don't have those big names. Now, I'm not saying that there could be somebody that comes in and still, breaks through this line, because again, that's just how horrendous we are at times.
Yeah.
But you can kind of work with that. You can give Caleb a little bit more time in the pocket, a little bit more time to throw, a cleaner pocket, without those big names on the Carolina Panthers. And so, because they're already kind of at the bottom in ranks overall on defense, it makes it even worse that they're without their star players. And so that's where I look for us to take advantage of them.
Yeah, two guys I'm most concerned about right now heading into this week on the Panther side of the ball: Xavier Woods and A'Shawn Robinson. You know what I mean? Those are the two that really stand out to me, because A'Shawn
A'Shawn been
Robinson,
around forever.
A'Shawn still ain't
I
in his
thought
30s.
A'Shawn was in Alabama in '95.
No, he
Yeah,
just
but
got a
watching
name
him,
like that.
I'm exaggerating, but I remember seeing
He's
him in
just got that
Alabama
name.
all the time.
And listen, A'Shawn Robinson, not a big sack guy, right? Like, he's
Yeah.
not a guy he's not a guy that you have to worry about all the time.
Yeah.
But with, like you said, how depleted this Panthers team is, I feel like he's a guy who can take advantage of what we've got on our edges right now.
Yeah.
And that's the only part of having him out there that actually concerns me a little bit. Again, take all of this with a grain of salt. Take all of this with I guess, like, none of this is panic. If I'm being honest with you, I'm not that worried about any of the guys on the other side there, just because we haven't seen a ton out of them. But a lot of teams have used the Chicago Bears as their get right game. And you don't want to be the get right game for the Carolina Panthers, especially knowing that this is a double win. You get this win, you not only win the game, you win draft positioning. That is another loss on the Panthers record. The Panthers currently sit at 1-3. A 1-4 Panthers team probably does not get better from there.
Yeah, I just don't see it. I don't see a lot of issues with this team. I believe that the Panthers reportedly signed a former first round pick. That is one thing that I do. I remember seeing them, that they signed cornerback Caleb Fairley, 20-year-old, 5-year-old first round pick from the Tennessee Titans. I believe that's an upgrade in a sense. Caleb Fairley is a decent player. That's a decent name. But outside of that, like, again, the only thing I'm worried about is Braxton Jones, sliding backwards into Caleb Williams. Darnell Wright possibly not being able to, protect his man as much as well for Caleb
Yeah.
to get the ball out. Like, those are the things that I'm really worried about when it comes to this Panthers defense, is the pressure from the outside. Like you mentioned, A'Shawn Robinson is not really a name that puts fear into you, but he's still a name. He's somebody that
Only
is
reason I'm
going
worried
to
about A'Shawn Robinson is all to do with us and nothing to do with A'Shawn Robinson.
exactly. Like, yeah.
And
we
that's
know
a lot of this Panthers team. I mean, listen, they're an abysmal team right now. There's not a lot that they have fixed. There's not a lot they can do. Maybe you could say there's a little bit of a fix. I'll say this, and maybe we can talk about it from the flip side as well. Offensively, there have been some fixes put in place by inserting Andy Dalton to the point where Chuba Hubbard has become a factor again. Chuba Hubbard was a guy that you could basically say, no, whatever, like, throw that dude on the scrap heap. It's over with. You know what I mean? But Chuba Hubbard has become a
he's on the right
factor
team.
again in the run game, right? Like 104 yards last week, a touchdown, had a 38-yard run. Like that's a guy that's becoming impactful based on the fact that you have that passing game going a little bit better. I know they were behind in that game versus a defense in the Bengals that, oh my God, these guys suck. But you can also say that hey, facts, Joshua. if we lose Sunday, just call it a year, bro. Call it a year. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I think you also can look at a guy like, the fact that Deontay Johnson has been able to get going, the fact that you've got that guy opposite Deontay Johnson with Xavier Legette and Chuba Hubbard also kind of being able to get involved in there in the receiving game as well. Like those are the names that I think you have to worry the most about. But again, I've got names that match up really well there. Really well there. I
names everywhere. Yeah.
I understand Xavier Legette's 6'3", but Tyreek Stevenson's what, 6 foot?
Yeah.
6'1"? Like,
but
I got the matchups.
Yeah, you also got Jaquan Brisker back there to assist as well. Like you have players all over the place that are going to, because the one thing that the Bears are very good at is attacking the ball. Like as soon as one person gets that catch, you see all of the Bears players pretty much barreling down on that offensive player. And so that's what you like to see. I'm not really worried. I think, like you said, everything is really going to be on the Bears as far as the impact on this game. You do have names like Chuba, who has kind of had a resurgence. I believe it's more so him being on this type of team than anything. I'm not saying that he's not as talented a running back, but I mean, when you're talking about the players that we have to stop him with Edwards, Jack Sanborn. You talk about Kyler Gordon might be having an impact. Kyler Gordon is the type of player that could come in and get kind of little gritty in the on the inside.
Listen, Kyler Gordon could get Bryce Young back in this game.
Kyler Gordon probably could hurt Andy Dalton.
Kyler Gordon could get Bryce Young back in this game, dog. I ain't gonna lie. You get Kyler Gordon off the edge naked.
Yep.
Woo.
Andy Dalton won't see it coming. Oh
man,
baby.
Look.
Oh baby.
We know he ain't got that vision no more. And I think that's the thing too, right? When you look at the matchups on both sides, look at the defensive matchup for this team. This is a game. Here's a guy. This is a game to me where if you don't come out of this game with Andy Dalton being laid out like he's on 79th, I'm just playing. I got love for the 9. I got love for the 9. I got love for the 9.
That was still an epic quote.
Everybody on 79. You know, Tony Baker commented on that. I was actually excited about that one. Yeah, Tony Baker, because he grew up on 79th and Chapel. I was actually excited about that. I was like, oh, this is one of my favorite comedians, man. I love this dude. Then I was like, hey, man, I love to have you on the show. He's like, ignored. I was like, dang.
Gave you the skibbity paps, huh?
Yeah, he gave me the skibbity paps on that one. But no, I think that, if you're not in Andy Dalton's face all day, it's a failure as a defense. Like Andy Dalton should be looking to get out.
He should be looking to leave the game.
Yeah, he should be absolutely just like, I'm done.
I don't want no more.
I'm done. Yeah, it's
where's Bryce?
Yeah, Andy Dalton should be ready to retire by halftime. You know what I mean? Who was old boy that did that? That was
Antonio Brown. Just take his shirt off and start waving at the crowd.
I guess Antonio Brown did do that. No, don't do that. Don't go full Antonio Brown. You ain't winning enough for that.
Just, all right, bye everybody. It's been real. Oh, you talking about the? I know you're talking. He actually was an Illinois product.
The linebacker, Vontae Davis.
No.
Vontae
Davis, the cornerback.
Vontae Davis, yeah. Vontae Davis said he called his brother. He's like, "Ain't you in a game?" He's like, "I'm done.
I'm out of here." Like that's it.
What?
That's it. Calling.
But no, man. I think that it's It's not a good matchup for Andy at all. You've got a guy on the other side that knows what you can do. You've got a defensive line that is creating more pressure than ever. I mean, like, this should be very similar to the Will Levis week 1 matchup where Will Levis was just like, stop hitting me. I'm going to just flip it to somebody.
I'm going to just throw it. Here,
Yeah.
take the ball. Here, you can have it.
Please.
Yeah. No, I would love to see that. I mean, you're talking about matchups versus, and again, we said this at the beginning of the season. This is the time where these are the get right games. These are the games where you continue to get right, never go full Antonio Brown.
Is that
Like
how
Tropic
you
Thunder?
say it? Is that how you
Tropic
say
Thunder?
it? Like in Tropic Thunder? You can't say the other one anymore?
No.
You never go full. You went full Antonio Brown. You never go full Antonio Brown.
That word has been holding us down for 100 years. Oh my God. Anyway, that's hilarious though. But no, I just think that this is the get right game. There's a lot of get right games coming up, but this is part of the schedule where you say, okay, it is extremely weak. The teams that we are facing are already kind of on the weaker side, alongside with the injuries on their team. Like these are the games where you can continue to get better as a team, chemistry wise, on offense, on defense, and just continue to get ready for the back end of the season when you really got to go up against some of your division rivals.
No, yeah, 100%. I think this is, dare I say, this is a more important game to the Bears offense than anyone that they'll face over the next few weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, like, when is there going to be an opportunity for you to really test out that deep ball on the rest of this schedule?
Maybe when you go to London.
To get it right. Like, I think this is the
Right,
game
right.
you could put yourself up enough where you go, we got to test out the deep ball. We got to get this kid right. Like this should it should be. Now, here's the thing. I've said this about how many games, right? I said you should be up on the Rams heading into that. I guess we were up on the Rams. We were up 10-3, but I said there's no way you should be able to find a way to lose to the Colts. There's no way that the Titans should be coming in here and blowing the doors off of you in the first half. We watched all of that happen.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, literally all of that end up going down. And then, so I'm not saying that there's not a chance for the Panthers, because the Chicago Bears, somebody said it earlier, the one thing that I hope doesn't happen in this game is the Chicago Bears play down to their level of competition.
That almost seems like it's impossible to do. You got too many good players on this team.
But that's how it felt going into the Colts game. I'm telling you, I left that Colts game I left the Colts matchup watching the film from the week before, and I was like, this team sucks. Like, there's nothing that they do well. They don't cover well. They don't stop the run. They don't play the pass well. They don't move the ball down the field well. They can run the football because of Jonathan Taylor, but we got the run defense. This team sucks. And then we were down. I was just like, oh, wait, do we suck?
No, just literally the only part of the game that they're good at, Jonathan Taylor, is what worked for them. We're bad on run defense that game. Like, that's what won them the game. I'm not seeing for that. And then, of course, you got. I'm sure that'll be later down for next week. But Jacksonville is a get right game as well. Like, you have so many games.
Jacksonville's a tough one. I keep saying this. Jacksonville.
I don't know. They're in disarray right now, though.
They're bad. Here's the thing. They're bad, but the Bears are going to Vegas 3 days before the game.
Uh-oh.
Jacksonville is going to Vegas. I believe they have let me look at the Jags schedule. So they just play Sunday. I thought they had the Thursday game this week. So they play the Colts on Sunday. Oh God, that's a bad game. They play the Colts on Sunday.
Must see TV.
And then probably that Sunday night, they will immediately fly to London.
London, yeah.
So they will be there the entire week, acclimating to it. And their next 2 games are in London. So they got Sunday versus the Bears in London, and then they play the Patriots in London. So they will be acclimated to it. Now, the Bears having the first game means there's still a little bit more jet lag and stuff like that, maybe still taking effect. But realistically speaking, they're used to this. They do this every year. They are London's team, which dang it, London, heck of a pick. But so for me, I think that I can't overlook that Jaguars game, not just because, it's them there, but just because I think they'll be more acclimated to it. The Bears are going to land like 48 hours before the freaking game starts. It's just going to be like, 8:30 football. What are you talking about? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's a tough switch to your schedule.
So you're saying they're just going to take advantage of the fact that they didn't get enough rest, and they don't have enough time to recharge for the game. Is that the key to them winning all the time over there?
Yeah. Leave right after this game. That's the key to dominating out there.
That's hilarious. Well, we'll see. I think that in all seriousness, again, you have a schedule for the Bears. Even though we're 2-2, we kind of assumed that we would win the Indianapolis game and be 3-1.
Yeah.
I foresee the next 4 or 5 games going well because, again, you've gotten certain things on track when it comes to everybody being on the same page offensively. You got everything on track already with the defense humming and being great from week 1. So that's not something that I'm really worried about. I again think that this is going to be the start of a string of get right games for the Chicago Bears.
A string of get right games is never a bad thing, man. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, man. Let us know how you guys feel on it. Do you think that this is a dominant matchup versus the La Panthers? Did we do over 200 in the chat? I don't think we did. We gotta let you know, man. Over 200 in the chat.
Appreciate that.
I appreciate you guys tuning in, showing love, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. We'll be back later on today, 6 p.m. Me and the super producer. Let me double check that. He be working on a house all the time. I never know when he's gonna show up. He be like, I got cabinets to put in, and then I'd be like, all right, you got cabinets to put in. I ain't gonna trip. And then he'd be like, I'll be there in 2 minutes. Wait a minute, hold on, dog. Like,
he's super.
We got a team full of dudes that got incredible FOMO. There's a team full of FOMO. We enjoy each other's company. There's nothing wrong with that. We enjoy each other's company.
We do.
Appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button. Let us know your prediction in the comments below. Crimson said his 3 key players: Stevenson, Rome, and Dexter. I like that. Let us know your 3 key players for the game as well. Like I said, we'll be down in the comments talking with you guys as well. As always, for Jordan JC, Mr. Media himself, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bear down. One love. Peace.
There we go. A team full of FOMOs. That's hilarious.
We got a team
Not
full
a team
of
full of mofos.
We got a team full of of what? Momo. Team full of FOMO, bro.
I love it.
Super producer in the chat said, I just woke up. I'll be there. Cabinets.
Joe, you're late.
Hey, Grid. Man, Pat, you know us brothers will be late to our own funeral.
They ain't lying.
Hey, man, I'm trying to be late to mine. I hope that it's a long time from now. You don't want to be early to that mug.
Lord willing.
I didn't want to keep y'all waiting.